Good morning. I guess I haven't figured out my, let me see, I didn't adjust the one camera here. I've had a lot of like little gremlin stuff going on in my computer this morning. I think that'll do. So hopefully everything is okay. I don't know, it's just been weird stuff. So I hope you had a good Christmas. We did. It kind of wears you out, huh? It's happy, it's fun to see everybody, but if you're like me, you're left with a little more leftover tension than you thought you were accumulating. So this morning, I've chosen to do more of a stretchy kind of, let's stretch it all out and get back to baseline kind of practice for this rainy Monday morning. As I sat here and got ready, there were times it was pouring out there. So wish it were a white Christmas, but I guess it's just a wet Christmas. Meet me on your back. And as you arrive on your back, keep the knees bent and keep them hip distance apart. Bring the hands to the low belly. And we'll do a little 3-part breath, Dirga Swasam. As you inhale, breathe clear down in here to the belly, way down deep. I'm trying to check my microphone levels up there. I think it's okay. Inhale deep into the belly. And then exhale all the way. Feel the belly soften. Eyes can be open or closed. Just breathe. And then move the hands up to the rib cage, someplace where they're comfortable. Breathe into the belly, but then breathe into the ribs. So the belly rises first, then the ribs expand. And let the ribs soften. And then let the belly go. Bring the hands someplace up to the top of the chest towards the collarbones. Again, in a way that you're comfortable. So don't hover the arms off the floor. Just fingertips is all you need. Fill the belly, then the ribs, and then the upper chest. And then as you exhale from the upper chest, then the rib cage, and then the low belly. 3-part breath. Keep breathing in this way. And I've noticed in myself, much like I start to gradually take on more and more tension in my muscles and kind of hold it there, my breath becomes more and more shallow. And that's just a reflection of the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight. Sometimes gathering for holidays can induce the fight or flight, right? So let's calm back down with the breath. Come back to the parasympathetic nervous system. We'll take 3 more breaths here together, breathing into the belly, the ribs, the upper chest. Exhaling from the upper chest, ribs, and belly. 2 more. Nice deep breath. Last one. And then let it go. And as you exhale, just lift the feet off the mat and bring the thighs up towards the belly. And continue to notice the breath. As you inhale, you're expanding. And as you exhale, You're contracting, you're drawing in. And keep your right knee close and extend the left leg out long, but let's not touch the mat. Let's build a little heat in the core. You can do some circles through that right ankle. Keep the left foot flexed, reaching through the heel. And notice the lower you get that hover, the more you activate the core. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. Now float the left heel down. We're going to take the right knee across the body into a twist. Reach out with the right arm. Noticing the breath expanding on the inhale and contracting, coming back to center on the exhale. Notice where you feel sensation in the twist. There's the obvious, and then there's the more subtle. Where are you feeling this that isn't the first to draw your attention? And then back to center, and let's open the right knee to the right. And take your time, even if you kind of come into it and out of it, work your way into this nice stretch. Let sensation guide you, and then let go. And if you use the exhale, oftentimes that intention of allowing the breath to find the places where you're holding on to some stretch or stress, some contraction, you'll feel that release. So as you exhale, let go. Now inhale back to center. Keep the left leg long. We're going to come into a number 4 with the right leg. Now bend the left knee, bring the foot to the mat. Pause here. And just use the legs to lift the thighs towards the belly. And you're going to push with that left thigh. So you can press the right leg a little closer. Now reach up with the left heel. Maybe you lace the fingers behind the left thigh. And again, use the breath. Feel the stretch. Feel that tension. And then use your exhale to dissolve it. Bringing focus, awareness to the sensation, and then releasing, letting go. Two more breaths here. Now bend both knees again, bring them to the chest. Let's do some hip circles. And before we leave the right side, extend that left leg long again, hover, reach out for the right foot, and we'll take half happy baby. Turn the toes outward, keep the left leg hovering. And now release both legs long on the mat. Pause and notice. Use that exhale again to wash out any remaining tension. Now draw both knees in and release that right leg out long, but hover. Flex the foot, drawing the left knee in, holding the knee with the hands. Do some circles through the ankle. Check on your shoulders. Even though those hands are holding the knee, can you relax your shoulders? Now let's pull the left knee across the body, float that right foot down. And then experience the stretch and play with the stretch. Maybe it feels nice to extend the left arm up by the ear. Stretching a little more through the armpit. And then back to center. We're going to cradle that knee and open it to the left. And again, play. Maybe you want to come in and out of this stretch. Where does it feel right to place your gaze? Maybe to the right fingertips. Maybe to the left, or maybe you just kind of roll back and forth, waking up the cervical spine. And then back to center. Squeeze that knee in tight again. We're going to come into a number 4, keeping the right leg long. A number 4 with the left, and then slide the right foot to the mat. And push the left knee away. And at the same time, we're going to lift the thighs. Keep pushing the left knee away as you're using that right thigh to push the left shin towards you. Now lace the fingers behind the right thigh. Reach up through the heel. Breathe. And play with a little movement here, maybe. Breathe. Now extend the right leg long. Let's come into half happy baby here. This is where I meant to put it the first time. So now the right leg is on the mat, but active. We've got that foot flexed, and the left leg is in half of a happy baby. Now draw the right knee up. Let's take a full happy baby. Use your hands to turn your toes outward, and then use awareness and maybe some wiggling to deepen into the joint spaces, into the stretch, and then eventually work your way into some stillness. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Noticing the breath. Are we still allowing that nice diaphragmatic breath, that calming breath? And now let's rock up to a seated position, Sukasana. Support yourself on blocks if you need to. I'm going to use a block underneath my forearm. Coming into some lateral stretches, a little more focus on the spine. If you can bring your left forearm down to the mat while keeping the right sit bone down, do that. I can't quite get over there, but I'm going to use a block. So I'm focusing on pushing that right sit bone down. And again, you can kind of wiggle into this. And then reach through the crown of the head as you let the head hang. And at the same time, you're pushing that right shoulder down. Now swing the right arm up by the ear. Reach through the fingertips as you press the right sit bone down. Feel the stretch. Does it feel good to move the head a bit here? Maybe you drop your chin and look underneath your arm up towards the sky. And then bring the gaze forward. We're going to flip the right palm and do some circles through the arm. Let's do 3. One more. And then hold again, just hold. Still thinking about pushing the right sit bone down, reaching through the crown of the head as you let that head hang. Breath goes clear down to the sit bones, down to the pelvic floor. And then come up. Let's take the second side. I'm going to use my block again. Right forearm. Keep the shoulders, initially we'll keep the shoulders square to the edge of the mat and reach up and over, but nice and slow so you can sort of adjust as you go, keeping the left sit bone reaching down. Now reach through the crown of the head and then let the head drop. Let the arm get heavy and hang. Breathe into the stretch. Use the exhale to melt away the tension. And tuck the chin down, maybe look up underneath that left arm. And then look forward or down. Again, we're going to flip the left palm, do 3 big circles through the left arm and shoulder, but feel all of those muscles moving. One more. And then up and over. Sit tall, shoulders down. Drop your chin towards your chest. Reach out with your arms like wings. Gentle wings though. I'm going to swing my chin towards my right shoulder, lift my gaze to my right wrist, and then drop the chin, swoop the chin across, lift the gaze to the left wrist. Let's do 1 more of these each way. Now drop the arms, let the head hang. Take the hands behind the head and lace the fingers, and just the weight of the hands helps to stretch the neck a little more. Let your elbows start to float towards one another, and as you complete your exhale and the inhale begins, open those elbows like wings and lift your gaze. And exhale, fold forward. Wings towards each other, those elbows, inhale, open. 1 more each way. Think moving through the arms like this with this flexion and extension of the cervical spine helps to kind of stretch the trapezius muscle out too. And then exhale. As you inhale, squeeze your shoulders up by your ears. As you exhale, let them drop. 2 more. Inhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring your fingertips to the tops of your shoulders. I'm going to bring my left elbow forward, up, back, and down. And then the right elbow forward, up, back, and down. Adding a little twist with some shoulder range of motion. You can deepen this a bit by bringing elbow towards opposite knee and then back and down. So you end up doing more of a diagonal as you twist. Let's do 1 more each side. Last one. And then swing those arms up. Look up there at the hands, watch your thumbs. As the thumbs touch the third eye and then the heart. Meet me in table. And as you come to table, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, let's start circling through the hips, through the wrists. And then go the other way. And find neutral. But as you find neutral, make sure you're not sagging down into this table. So push into the wrists. Nice neutral spine. Take a couple breaths up and down the spine and then start weaving in some cat-cow. So flexion and extension of the spine, but also some nice stretches of the belly. Usually I draw your attention to the movement of the spine, but maybe today we focus a bit more on the belly, on the abdomen, on the core. Feel that stretch and then feel that contraction. And then coming to stillness again, we'll reach back with the left foot first onto the ball of the foot. Let's stretch through the calf muscle. you did a lot of traveling over the holidays, you probably sat a lot, and these stretches in the calf muscles will feel good. Now bend your knee just a little bit. Feel that shift to the soleus. Now push through the heel again. Lift the heel, reaching upward with the heel. Keep the hips square to the mat. Reach out with the right hand. Yeah, the right hand. Sometimes I mirror you, sometimes I don't. I try not to when I'm in this orientation. And we're just going to pretend like we're running. So I'm not bringing elbow and knee diagonally under the belly. I'm bringing same side knee to same side elbow to same side hip, if that makes any sense. If that doesn't, just look at me. Stretch and reach. And then float that hand down, float the knee down. We'll take the second side, reach back through the right foot. Stay on the ball of the foot, push through the heel, stretch. Send the breath there. That inhale can be an expansion of fullness, and the exhale, relaxing and letting go. Bend the knee just a little bit. Now reach through the heel again and then lift. Keeping the hips squared to the mat. Reach out with your left arm. Reach in both directions. And then we'll bring elbow and knee forward and back. And again, you can notice a little flexion and extension of the spine, and also that stretch and contraction of the core. And then float both down. We're going to take a big wide child's pose now. Toes touch, knees wide. Sit back and reach out long with those arms. You can bring your forehead to the mat. I'm going to keep my head lifted for the sake of the microphone. And breathe. Send the hips back by pressing the hands into the mat and then push the mat away. Sink a little deeper into the hips. Breathe all up and down the ribs. Walk the hands to the left. Cross the right hand over the left. Send the hips back and down. As you exhale, melt the heart towards the earth. Let all that tension go. Now walk the hands to the right. Do the same thing. Let it go. And then back up to table. Tuck your toes. Let's take a nice slow down dog. Lifting back and up. Once you get here, find some movement, find some space, find some tightness, and work it out. Let your breath massage those tight, tense areas in the body that you didn't even know were there. And come to stillness. And this time, let's keep the knees bent a lot. Let's keep it this way. Let the head hang. Breathe. Now swing your right leg back and up. Bend the left knee a bit more and see if you can swing that right leg up a little higher. Now bend the right knee. Stack the hips. We'll check in on the shoulders. You may have to reach a little stronger through the right shoulder to keep the shoulders square. We'll do some circles through the hip, which means we'll shift forward and back from plank to down dog. Three-legged plank, three-legged down dog. Let's do one more this side. And then float the right foot down, find down dog. Before we move to the second side,
Tuck your chin, reach with your spine, ripple forward into plank, unfurl the head last, and then reach with the spine as you go back to down dog. Let's do that one more time. Tuck the chin, ripple forward, unfurling the head last, and then back to down dog. Lift the left leg back and up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee a lot. Maybe you can extend the left leg a little higher. Bend the left knee. Stack the hips. Now check on the shoulders. Reach stronger through the left arm to keep the shoulders square. And then where are you feeling this stretch? Lots of places for me. Hip circles now. Moving from three-legged plank as you circle the hip back and up to three-legged dog. Two more. Float the foot down. Now we're going to ripple forward into plank. So tuck the chin. And once you get here, pause to take notice. Shoulders over the wrists or maybe a little forward of the shoulders. Hips are lower than the shoulders. Now drop your knees. Keep the toes tucked. Sit back to the heels. Tuck your chin, reach with the spine. So nice cat back as you come forward into a kneeling plank. Unfurl the head last, let the hips come down, coming into spinal extension. And then back to neutral. Curl the spine into flexion as you go back into an extended child. So ripple with the spine forward. Head unfurls last as the pelvis sinks down, coming into a back bend. And then back to your child's pose. One more. This time as you're here, lift your feet and try to bring those toes towards the back of the head. And then float the shins down as you come to your belly. Let's come into Sphinx right away. Elbows under shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. We've been on the hands a little bit. If you need to massage the palms with your fingers, get the blood flow going, take the time to do that. And then plant the elbows right underneath your armpits. Push into the elbows. Feel the chest lift and then pull the hands towards you. Feel that stretch in the belly. Feel the heart come forward through the gate of the arms. Breathe. And maybe you bend the knees again and bring the toes towards the back of the head. Float the shins down. Open the hands to the corners of the mat and then press into both arms and come up into a little higher back bend here. Seal. Draw the navel back towards the spine and notice how that supports the low back, the lumbar spine. And exhale, float your way down. I'm going to extend my right arm out. And this will be a nice stretch through the pectoralis muscles, the front of the chest. And start to roll with that arm out. And it will vary how far you can go. And you'll feel this stretch. Take it to a nice stretch and not to strain. This should never feel like you're isolating the sensation in the joint space. It should feel like a stretch all along the length of the muscles. And then unwind. We'll take the second side, left arm out. And then start to roll over. One side might be real different than the other, a little more flexible. Breathe. Then unwind and let's take Crocodile. Separate the legs wide, left and right edges of the mat. And experience the power of the exhale as you lie here. Let the out breath wash away any tension. We're getting the prana moving through the nadis again, so there's stagnation. We need to rinse away. Reestablishing that flow. Now meet me in plank. And then down dog. I'll swing the left leg back and up. Step forward. Bring the hand to the inside or the foot to the inside of the hand. We're going to drop the right knee. And blocks under the hands could be helpful. Let's kind of back here, moving through kind of a cat back and a runner's lunge into cow and Anjaneyasana, but keeping the fingers on the blocks or on the mat. Now keep your right hand on the mat and take your left hand to your left knee. You can turn the left toes out a bit as you sink into this stretch. And then try a little cat-cow here. So my heart's turned towards my left knee, and I'm kind of in a cat or a cow back. And then I'm going to round the spine and then into cow. So from cat to cow. And a little bit of a twist. And then hold. Now take the left forearm and bring it down to the mat. A block could be helpful. We're going to work our way into a lizard pose. Again, blocks can be good, or you can stay up on the arms, but just start to walk the arms out longer so you can deepen this stretch in the hips. Breathe. And maybe you bend that right knee. As you sink a little lower into this, you'll intensify this stretch into the quads on the right leg. Release with control. And come back to down dog. Try to make it a three-legged down dog. And then float that leg down, finding down dog. Pedal around here, noticing sensation. And then swing the right leg back and up. Step it forward. Fingertips on the mat. Drop the back knee. And we'll work a little through our cat-cow runner stretch. And this leg for me is way tighter than the other. It's interesting sometimes to discover that when you didn't notice it before you started moving. I'm going to keep my left hand on the mat. Maybe turn my right toes out a little bit. Maybe even let my right knee drop open. Take my right hand to my right knee, coming into a bit of a twist, turning the heart to the right. And then noticing as I lift my heart, I'm in a back bend, so a cow. I'm in extension of the spine. And then round the back into cat. Back and forth. And then come to stillness. Maybe you even bend the left foot. Maybe you even reach back there for it. Then float it down. Take the right arm, we're going to come into our lizard. So again, you can start with the arms extended and maybe just walk the hands forward, lowering the torso. Maybe you use blocks, or maybe you can come down to your forearms. You can bend that knee again here, or not. And float it back down. And see if you can find your way back to Sphinx from here. Nice back bend. Press yourself into table, and I'm going to turn again. And this time I want your knees really wide. And keep the feet wide too. We're going to start to sit back in frog. So once you start to sit back, see if you can bring your feet more to the big toe edge of the feet. They look like little frog feet, frog flippers. And a little forward and back. Nice deep hip stretch. You can rest your forehead on your thumbs. And now bring the big toes to touch and set your hips back. Now take your right hand out long. I'm going to bring my left arm underneath, threading the needle. I use my fingertips to kind of pull me into this twist. Stretching through the upper back. I use the right hand to lift you, and we'll switch. Now that left hand's holding you up. The right hand goes underneath the left, and then a little crawl across the floor. Bring your shoulders into a twist. And then come out and come back to table. Knees underneath the hips. Let's come into cow face pose. So I want you to take your right knee, center your left knee. So now the knee's no longer right under the hip. We're going to take the right knee behind it. So you're crossing your legs while you're on your hands and knees. Now walk those feet a little wide and start working your way back. And once you get here, play around with this a little, find your way. Sometimes the hamstrings get all bunched up around your sit bones. And if this is too intense, you can come into Sukasana. Take your peace sign fingers and lasso your big toes. Shoulders open and heavy. As you inhale, maybe a little back bend, draw those shoulder blades towards the spine. And then as you exhale, folding at the hips, drape the spine over the thighs. And then let the head hang. You can release the toes, let the forearms come to the mat. And breathe. Two more breaths here. Use your fingertips to help you come back up. Take the hands behind you, unwind. Flex the feet, bend the knees, and then float forward again, cascading the spine over the thighs. And breathe. Now let's take cow face on the second side, so back on the hands and knees. And now we're going to center the right knee and cross the left behind it. And then start working your shins out. towards the edges of the mat, making room for your sit bones to land. Maybe notice the difference left and right. Lasso the big toes. And then shoulder blades towards the spine. Lift the heart, lift the gaze, send the belly forward. Folding at the hips, draping like a piece of silk, draping your torso across your thigh. Let the head hang, bring the forearms to the mat. Breathe up and down the back. And then rise up. Unwind the legs and bring the soles of the feet together. We'll come into Badakonasana. And once you get here, shift around a little bit. Take the ankles, pull on the ankles, and again, it's a little bit of a back bend just to get that pelvis tilted forward. Now slide your thumbs in between your feet and give your feet a nice massage. Maybe you walked a lot over the holidays. Massage those feet. And then open the feet like the pages of a book. And with your pelvis tilted forward again, move at the hips, drape your chest forward and down any amount. And then let the swing go. Just let your head hang. Breathe up and down the spine. And bring the fingertips to the mat. And come back to a comfortable upright seat. So today for Shavasana, we're going to finish this sitting up. I want you to bring your hands to your lap. Once again, noticing the breath. How does the breath feel now compared to when we first began our practice today? And allowing the diaphragm to move provides a deeper breath, fills the lungs, brings the breath into the bottoms of the lungs, and balances the nervous system. Breathing diaphragmatically brings a deeper breath, but that doesn't mean a bigger breath. If you need a bigger breath, that's fine, but just know that a deeper breath just means giving the body time to pull that prana, that life force energy, clear into the bottoms of the lungs. Allowing the diaphragm space to move. All that goes on with that, massaging the organs of the abdomen. The diaphragm is tethered to the kidneys and to the heart, so as the diaphragm moves, those organs move as well. Like a bellows, drawing breath in and then releasing the breath back out. Begin to deepen your breath now and move the body in small ways. And let your eyes blink open a few times. I hope this brought a little space back into your body. Opened up the nadis to flush out all the stagnation. I hope you have a great Monday. I will see you next Monday. Friday is New Year's Eve day, so I won't be teaching that day. So I'll see you then. I'll see you next year. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.